Hi everyone, Patrick Brown here. Welcome to the new monthly project. This is number 24, and the theme for this month is sci-fi creatures, which is one of my personal favorite genres. After binging season 4 of Stranger Things recently, I just really wanted to do something on this season. I think Vecna was probably one of the coolest sci-fi villains that I've seen in a long time. So with this theme, my patrons have gone away and drawn their own sci-fi creatures, or it can be an existing sci-fi creature from any movie or game. So let's dive straight into these submissions and see what everyone's done. Each month I choose 3 submissions to critique. So I picked Carl's piece of Vecna from Stranger Things. Craig and Paul did a collab, which is awesome, and they did the Predator versus Alien. I'll show the full piece soon. And Brett has done an original character over here, an original creature, which we'll dive into soon. So awesome work, guys. I love all of these. I can't wait to dive into the critiques. Alright, let's check out all of these submissions. Now, Renee over here, you have done your own creation, and this is inspired by Black Panther. Really love the way this is done, and the detailing that you've got in this is amazing. Really like this concept. Those colours are awesome too, very sci-fi. Really love that one. And Juan, you've done Nemesis from Resident Evil. This one's looking really cool. Love what you've done with this. Look at those details. That's really well drawn. Absolutely awesome stuff there. Love that one. And Jeremy, you've got your own creation over here. I love that they're in like a big science lab. It's very sci-fi like, and this creature down here, it looks like he lives in the lava by the looks of it. That's cool. I always love your style. That's so cool. Really like that. And next up is Aaron over here. You've done one of your own creations. This is Nocthaum. That's what you've named it. Got a nice little description down there. I really like what you've done with that. And I love the idea of those arms and those legs there with the tentacles. Really cool. And you've done a second creation here. This is your own character called Zomb. And yeah, let's have a closer look. I really like all those eyeballs in that dome there. That's cool. Creepy as. I've just noticed there's a few more as well. Yeah, it's really cool that you've done a few characters as well, really playing around with it. I can see you're very inspired by the theme and just really running with it. I love that. And Abby, you've done Wild Mutt from Ben 10. And this is really cool, nice and clean, super clean work. This is really nice to look at, very appealing. Your work's really popping off the page there. I think you've drawn that really well, looks great, looks really cool. And Eric, you've done a sci-fi creature here, an original design. I really love the thought process that's gone through here. Really cool design, very creepy. I like how the legs are just something that we haven't seen. They're like bent in such a different direction. And you have a second design here as well. It's like a mushroom mixed with a crab. I really love that. Super creepy as well. That is awesome. I really like these designs, Eric. I think you've done great. And next we've got Jason over here. This is from Prometheus, one of my favourite movies. I'm pretty sure that's David over there, the droid. He's had his head ripped right off. This is really well drawn, Jason. I love your style. And that texturing is just great. Really nice. And next up is Mirko. And you've done Abe Sapien from Hellboy. Really cool character as well. And I love what you've done here. This is really clean work. He's such a cool character, and I think you've really nailed it there. He looks awesome. And next up is Paul. And you've done your own creation over here. It's one of your original designs. A mixture of a praying mantis, scorpion, and a dinosaur. This guy looks epic. Really awesome. Very nice design there. I love that thought process of mixing those things together. Alright, next is Paul Cameron. Now, this is one you've done a little while ago, and I'm really glad that you submitted it. I just can't wait to talk about this one. So this is from Stranger Things. And you've got that huge giant monster. I think it was from season 3 or so. And you've got 11 down there going up against it, and there's a Demogorgon. Really loving these details. Look at the ink work in this. Look at the dedication that's just gone into this. Like even through here, look at that skin texture, just all of that. Yeah, composition, everything's just spot on. I love that. Killer work. And next up is Bartek as well. So I want to have a look at these concepts you've done. These are original designs. Really loving this guy here. I love this one. I love the eyes. And just the fact that it's not symmetrical, both sides are totally different. And these creepy kind of veins, that is great. I love that design there. These are awesome as well. Oh, you've got like a bit more of a robotic design here. Bit of a mix between creature and sci-fi tech. These guys look really cool as well. I'm glad you've had a lot of fun with this theme, really running with that sci-fi stuff. And next is Virgilio. Let's have a look at your Ninja Turtles. And they definitely fall in the category of sci-fi. I mean, they're like mutant turtles. These guys are awesome. Really love what you've done with this whole setup as well. Really full on, energetic. Love the action. You've done a lot of work. There's a lot of effort gone into this. So well done with that, Virgilio. You've even got a nice city backdrop in there. Yeah, awesome work. And Olivia, you've done a nice close-up here of a xenomorph, coming right at us. That's crazy. That's really cool. And Patrick has drawn a Noonwraith from The Witcher over here, which is really well drawn. I like that rendering style you've got through here. I'm seeing a lot more density. I'm really loving that. Oh, that's super creepy. Awesome stuff. Really well done. And last up, we've got Sci, who's done Alien vs. Predator. You got such a fun style. I like that. It's really cool to see you doing Predator. Oh, there's a face hugger in there as well. That's crazy. This is an epic piece, Sci. You've done a huge picture here. This is massive. Those xenomorphs are looking great. A lot of nice details going through there. And Moses, you've done the sci-fi creature from A Quiet Place, which is one of my favorite movies as well. This looks really cool. Love what you've done there. Yeah, awesome work, guys. And last up is James's submission. Now this is a Leshy from The Witcher, and this looks really cool. It's spot on. This is exactly what it looks like. Super creepy monster. I really like that you've done like an entire forest in the back as well. Colors are looking good. Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, James. Alright, time for the critiques. Let's start with Carl, and you have done Vecna from Stranger Things Season 4. I really loved that season as well. I think it's the best one yet, so... but I really loved seeing your work. This is great. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so I feel like overall, it might just be a little bit too dark. I like how you've got this red in the back to help him pop out and lift a bit, but it's only really lifting him out on the right side there. I'd love to see that over this side as well. But the first thing I want to talk about is just the proportions. So I've just made his legs a lot longer. I feel like that was the main issue with it. So you see before, I just feel like the legs were a bit too short. Also, I just feel like there's a few tension points that are kind of bothering me a little bit. You see how this leg is kind of just touching the edge of the other leg? That's a tension point. And I feel like we really need to separate those and part it and have the leg probably down more like this, and that'll really free that up and make it more appealing. And I've also done the same thing with the hand, as you can see here. So I've really opened up that hand because I feel like some of the fingers were creating a lot of different tension points, like that fingernail just touching that other one there. And I feel like as an overall silhouette, the hand just doesn't read well. So it's a really good idea to treat things like a silhouette when you're drawing them. Think about spreading those fingers out. It's almost iconic in a way, like a logo. You can see it from a long way away, and that's kind of what you want to have for your pose to make it more appealing. And like I mentioned with the background, I really feel like we need to kind of just lighten that up and make him pop a little bit more. So what I've done is really amped up them colors in the back. We could even play around with color balance a little bit more, but I feel like Vecna really needs some color adjustments as well. So I might just over the top, just do some slight color adjustments. I feel like what we could do is put a lot of blue shines over this side, and then with a new layer above that, and I'll set it to screen and get a nice bright red. I'm going to start painting in the red on top of, you know, this blue part of him. So this could be the light source here, and you got this red really like touching on the side of him. There we go. So something like that, really kind of hammer in that lighting on the side there. So that'll really make him pop out a lot more. And then what you could do is get a blue and do the same on the other side and really pack it in a lot more as well. Don't be afraid. There we go. So really adding in that lighting from each side now is just going to lift him right out. And then I could probably make a new layer above that as well. Set it to screen. And then I'll get a nice soft brush and I can add a nice ambient kind of glow to it. I might even make that blue a little more saturated, and then it'll give me even more color. I think that works pretty well. So last thing I'll do on yours is get the dodge tool out, and I'm just going to go right through the middle of your character and really amp up the detail or the rendering that you've done so that he just pops a bit more. You can see the difference between from when I did it and when I didn't do it. So from the original, you can just see by adding some extra effects, I feel like really helps him pop out a little bit more. And yeah, it's really just, like I said, about those hands and breaking away from the body a little bit. You want a nice clear pose. Anyway, thank you for your submission, Carl. I reckon your work's awesome. You've done a really cool job on that one. And I hope the critique helps. Thanks so much. Alright, next up is Craig Stewart and Paul Cameron. You guys teamed up and did a collab together, which I think is awesome. It's so cool that you guys actually decided to team up together like that. So this is amazing. You guys have done just some absolutely awesome work here. Look at the detail in the Predator alone. You just see all those nice details, especially through the hair. Really top-notch job. Alien looks awesome. Let's get into the critique. Overall, I think it's a really great piece and it works really well. I feel like the horizon or the perspective is just what's throwing me off just a little bit. So the water, I feel like, because we've obviously got the xenomorph there in the water, and behind it I feel like we can see that the water might stop about there from behind his shoulder, but I can't see any water over this way. You see that? I'd like to see the water kind of continue through here just to help tell the story. I just feel like the angle of the water is looking down too much, whereas the Predator is more of a lower front-on angle, which means the alien will need to come down more for it to just look about right, I reckon. So now that I've lowered the xenomorph down, I feel like that's just about right. And then I want to see a little bit more of that water kind of coming over this side over here with a little bit of shimmer on top. So I'm just painting that in over here. There we go. So now we've got some water over that side. Now, because we've lowered the xenomorph down, you've got all this empty space above. I feel like what we could do is actually grab the entire picture and rotate it so it's a more dramatic angle. And then what we need to do is kind of like get some more ripples going. Now that I've changed the entire angle, we need to make it clear the angle that it is. I need to make the water kind of look like this, but just not so obvious like that. I need to do it with a bit more finesse, obviously, so I'm going to start drawing in some ripples. So something like that with the ripples, just a lot more obvious, I reckon, and that's kind of showing the perspective as well. I feel like we also need to just add a little bit more of a glow behind Predator just to make him pop more. So I'm going to sample that green. He's fine up here. He pops out really well up there. I just want to do it a little bit more around his body. There we go. I feel like that's going to be a little bit better. And I feel like the last thing that it might need is just a new layer over the top, and I'm going to make it linear dodge. This is what I love to do. I'm going to get a nice soft brush and I'm going to size it up, and it has to be a dark color, like really dark and kind of saturated for it to work with linear dodge. So I'm just going to start, adding to that kind of glow you've got in the background. This will just add ambience to the entire picture. And that's it, composition wise. So from the original, if you have a look, I feel like it's just cropped off a little bit too much around the edges, and I'd like to see them arranged a little bit better. So I feel like they were too separated before, so just rearranging them. And it was that perspective as well. So the water is now much clearer to see, and you can actually see the water over that side now. And yeah, I just feel like it was the arrangement. Yeah, I feel like that might work a little bit better if you do something like that. And just as one more thing, I really feel like the shoulder on Predator that you had here was just too close to the body. And it looks like that's where his real shoulder should be. So we have the metal really lift off, and I'm pretty sure that they're more jagged out like that, like sharper, kind of layered. I feel like that's all it needed, was just that extra layer. Make it look like the armor is super thick and coming off. That's all I really think this piece needs. And yeah, absolutely awesome work, guys. You guys are awesome. It's so cool to see you teaming up as well. So yeah, I hope this helps. Also, just as a quick mention, how I've angled this piece works because the eye naturally flows through a picture diagonally like this. I feel like this works much nicer now, having the angle going down. All right, thanks guys. I hope that helps. All right, last critique, and this is from Brett, and you come up with your own original sci-fi creature here, which is really cool, by the way. I love this. This looks awesome. Such a crazy design. You've put a lot of thought into the way everything moves, and I love the glowing red parts that come into the tiny little cracks around the back and through there. It makes the creature seem very alive, like it's pulsing, and it's got these red glowing parts through it. So very cool design. And you also submitted this design as well here, which I love. You've really had a lot of fun with these, I can tell. This guy just looks so awesome. Really, really cool sci-fi creature there. So yeah, well done. Now overall, the thing that stands out to me the most is probably that it's just really hard to see. I know that you've got all these really nice details going on here and the line work, but at a distance, it's just really blacked out. Everything's super dark. Now, a good tip for doing a character it's really dark, and its skin might be super dark or grayed out near black even. A good thing to do with characters like that, especially like Venom here, is to have super like black shading and really pack that in some areas. So I actually found, I actually lightened up your character and just really darkened down some of these shadings. So I've got a bit of a head start on that, and I'm going to use this. All I'm going to do is set that to multiply, and there we go. And now you've got a really dense character, and look how much it's popping out more. So if I hide that and then show it, you can see how much of a change that's already made. I especially love how that back arm there is completely silhouetted out. Now that we've done that, I would even lighten the character itself up more. And I understand you probably don't want to lose a lot of these kind of details under here, but we can get them back with some edge lighting. But the first thing that I want to do is really like make him pop out even more by putting a nice big glow in the back. So, and I'm actually going to get like that nice orange and then size it up and really add some nice glow to it. You see, and just to mix it up, I'm going to get a blue and really just put that down in the background underneath everything where there might be shadow. So anything in shadow will be a nice blue hue. And what if we went a step further and actually layered this background a little more, just testing it out to see what it might look like if we have some kind of sun or something behind there that's going to be super bright, just for, you know, dramatic effect. So something like that even could be really nice. Now I'm just adding in a bit of a rim light around those edges to try and help this character pop out a little bit more. And now if I add a new layer over everything here, and I'll set the layer mode to color, start brushing over with a different tone. I really feel like that would help this kind of guts look here, just by having different colors mixed in with it. So it's not just all exactly the same tone of purple. You can even mix it up and add like a green tone to some parts like this. What if you had all that wet look as, you know, green strands coming down? I think that would look really cool. There we go, you see what I mean? So if I hide that, this is what it was before, that's what it is now. Just more natural, you know, a bit more of a natural kind of feel to it. I reckon that's about it. That's all I would really do to this guy. If we really wanted to, yeah, I feel like maybe just a tiny little soft glow through these parts here where the sun or whatever that is beaming through. And there we go. I've just added like a last little rim light around there. Yeah, I reckon that's all it needs. Brett, I love your work. This creature, he's so cool. So let's have a look at a little bit of a before and after. So before we started, you see what I mean? It was just a little bit hard to see. So I really wanted to just bring that out a lot more and make him more visible. So that's before we started, and that's now. And little things like the color changes you see in things like that, just playing around with some more natural tones. So yeah, there we go, Brett. All right, thanks, mate. I love the submission, and thanks so much. Well, that was awesome to go through all of those submissions. Those critiques were really fun as well. So I hope you guys got a bit out of that. Thank you everyone for your submissions. Awesome work. Really love them all. I'm going to go ahead now and plan the next monthly project for Patreon. And don't forget, if you're new to this, feel free to jump onto my Patreon and join in on these monthly projects. They're a lot of fun and really motivating for any artist. You can check it all out at patreon.com/PatrickBrown. And thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.